podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. This show originally aired on the Premier Networks on Saturday, August 15th, 2020. This is episode 1719. Enjoy. The Tech Guy podcast comes to you from TWiT's LastPass studios. Now, you're focused on security, but are your employees? LastPass can ensure they are by making access and authentication seamless, whether employees are working in the office or remotely. Visit lastpass.com/twit to learn more. This episode of The Tech Guy is brought to you by Melissa. Like expired milk, 30% of your customers' data goes bad every year, and for you, that's money down the drain. Visit Melissa's developer portal for free access to data quality APIs, demos, and code samples. Freshen up your sour data today with 1,000 records cleaned for free at melissa.com/twit. And by Adobe Sign. Business needs to keep moving, whether people are working together or apart. With Adobe Sign, working remotely actually works. Learn more about what Adobe Sign can do for your business at adobe.com/businessmoves. And by LastPass. Allow your remote workforce the ability to do their best work without jumping through hoops. Ensure your business's security with LastPass. Visit lastpass.com/twit to find out how they can help you. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy. Time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography. We got your smartphones. We got all that stuff. Smart watches. Actually, I got stuck on smartphones because Microsoft announced a very interesting phone today. Let me give you all the information, then we can get into the conversation. 8888 Ask Leo. That's my phone number. 888-827-5536. That's toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. Outside that area, you can still reach us, but it's a little trickier. You got to use something that can call some voice over the internet product. They can call real phone numbers. I guess that would be Skype out, something like that. That'll do it. 8888 Ask Leo. And we do get callers from all over the world, so it's kind of fun. I always like that. Website, if you hear something on the show and you say, hey, that's interesting, let me write that down. No, you don't need to write it down. We got a scribe, a professional, trained scribe. Mr. James DeRuvo, he's writing that all down so you don't have to. And you know what else? We don't charge. That's free. Sure. Absolutely. Well, so that's techguylabs.com. There's no sign up. I'm not going to mail you stuff. I'm not going to spam you. 8888 Ask Leo phone number, website techguylabs.com. Everything is actually at the website, even the phone number, even the chat room, everything. So if you're trying to remember anything, don't worry about it. Your memory's no good here. techguylabs.com. So Microsoft kind of Wednesday morning kind of surprised us. They'd been talking about for almost a year. And we'd heard rumors for many years, almost a decade, about a two-screen device. Best way to describe it would be kind of looks like a book. A book, but a little book, like one of those little notebooks that you see in the stationery store or the bookstore. Oh, yeah, there's no such thing anymore, are there? You used to see in the stationery store or the bookstore, it would fit in your jacket pocket. Oh, you don't wear jackets either. I don't know. It would fit. It would fit in your sweatpant pocket, and you could open it up, and you could scribble little notes in it and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about? They call them the Moleskine notebooks. This one. Anyway, Microsoft has said, look, what if we made a device? It's not a phone. Not a phone, but what if we made a device that was small enough to fit in your pocket, had two 6-inch screen, roughly 6-inch screens, one left, one right. Together, they'd form about an 8-inch diagonal tablet. Give you an idea of the size. You close it up, it'd be a little book. Pretty little book with a Microsoft logo on. You open it up again, and now we have an Android device here. It's not a phone, just to be clear. It's not a phone. And on this Android device, the screens can be independent. So you could have, well, an example the CEO of Microsoft gave, Satya Nadella gave. He said, could you have a book on one screen, your Kindle reader on one screen, and a little note-taking, OneNote, Microsoft OneNote, or some note-taking app on the right. And it runs Android apps. And so you could be reading the book and note-taking. But Amazon actually adopted the Kindle book app, so it's really even like a little book because you open it up and there's page left, page right, and when you swipe, it does an animated page turn all the way, and you now have page left and right again. It's not a phone. You could, even if you're surfing the web or something, you could have it span the 2 pages. So when you scroll up, it goes from the bottom to the top. And so it's like a double page. But there's a little bar between because that's where the hinge is. It's not a phone. Let's be clear. It is a fit in your pocket. It can make phone calls. In fact, you need a SIM in it so that you can. But it's not a phone, says Microsoft. It's a phone. It's an interesting phone. Now, one of the reasons they say it's not a phone is it's missing a lot of the features we expect in modern smartphones. It doesn't have wireless charging. It's not waterproof. It doesn't have NFC, so you can't use it to tap to pay. It doesn't have a headphone jack. It has Bluetooth, okay, and it has Wi-Fi, yeah. And you could put a SIM card in it, so it has LTE data. Not 5G, though, because, it's not a phone. Now, how much would you pay? Microsoft calls this the Duo. And it's kind of interesting because, Microsoft's been making hardware now for about 4 years, the Surface laptops and stuff. So this isn't, this is another Surface. But unlike their other Surface-i, it's not running Windows. In fact, it's not even running a Microsoft Office or operating system. For the first time ever, Microsoft is making a computing device that doesn't run an operating system they make. See, for as long as I can remember, in the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s, Microsoft was an operating system company. Remember Windows? Whatever happened to that? Remember Windows and Office? That was the bulk of their revenue. That's where they made all their money. Actually, they came out with their quarterly results, their yearly results even, just last week. And lo and behold, they no longer make most of their money in software. They make it in services. They make it in Azure, in the cloud, offering cloud services. This has really been a shift with Microsoft. And this shift is now complete because they're making something, not a phone, running Android. It's the first time they've been a computer manufacturer for somebody else's operating system. What? See, they don't care anymore. Because it's not about Windows anymore. It's not about Office anymore. It's about using Microsoft services. And guess what? You know what that phone? I'm sorry. See, told you it wasn't a phone. You know what that Surface Duo comes with? All the Microsoft programs, Microsoft Office, all that stuff. It's a special launcher. So it's a Microsoft device running Microsoft software, but a different company's operating system. It's very interesting. Did I mention the price? Remember now, it's not a phone, but it can make phone calls. It's an internet communications device. It can send text messages. It has a phone number. It's not a phone. Okay, I'm going to drop that. It's not a phone. It's a phone, okay? They don't want you to call it that. I don't know why. It's a Surface Duo is what they want you to say. But it is missing, as I said, a few things that we kind of expect now in modern flagship phones. How much? $1,400. Well, that's with 128 gigs of RAM. Yeah, but it's $1,000 more than this phone I just bought from the Motorola Edge. With the same amount of RAM, storage. Actually, more RAM, I think. $1,500 if you want 256 gigs. I ordered it. What? Because I think it looks pretty darn cool. I'm kind of intrigued by the whole thing. It looks silly when you put it next to your head to make a phone call. It really does. You can fold it. It's a 360-degree hinge, so you can fold it over. it's kind of far less than ideal because you got a screen facing outwards and a screen facing inwards, and you're on the phone. I think more people probably will pair Bluetooth headphones, maybe even the Microsoft Surface Buds, because they make those too, to the phone and just leave it on the counter. It's like if you thought of a little Smurf Surface, or Smurfus, as we'll call it. If you thought a little Smurf Surface, it's like that. It's a little tiny laptop. It opens up, the hinge, can hold it in place. You could type on the bottom. You could see the screen on the top. You can make phone calls. It's got a camera, decent camera. Not as good as a phone would have, but it's okay. Good enough for Microsoft Teams calls, things like that. I was excited, okay? But the rest of the tech industry was like, how dare they? How dare they sell something for $1,400 that's not a phone? That makes phone calls but doesn't have the features that all the phone stuff would have. How dare they? Well, I don't know. It comes out, you can order now if you're crazy. Who's got the money to spend on this now? Especially since you still probably would want a phone. That's the problem. It still kind of needs, like, if you want to tap to pay, if you nowadays we go to the grocery store, we want to tap to pay. You still kind of want a phone. I'll probably carry it with my iPhone, which now you're really talking nuts. Carry an iPhone and this? What, Leo? What are you, nuts? Yeah, I kind of think it's cool. It's just me? 8888 Ask Leo. We could talk about that. 888-827-5536 or whatever's on your mind. Anything coming up for you this weekend? Man, it's hot here. It was 108 degrees yesterday. That's hot for Northern California. 95 degrees in San Francisco. They can't take that. They're not used to that. I said, what is going on? They said, we didn't move here to get hot. If we wanted hot, we'd live in Los Angeles. 8888 Ask Leo. It's a miracle! Ladies and gentlemen, it may be hot outside, but she's cool and collected. I give you Kimmy Schaffer, the Unbreakable phone angel. Hi, Kim.
Hi. Yeah, as hot as it may be out there, it's a balmy 65 in here. So.
Well, I didn't want to tell you this, but the air conditioning broke here yesterday.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
It's all held together with Band-Aids, chewing gum. Mm-hmm. Just cross your fingers. And poor lady, Professor Laura, she says it's already 107 down there.
Already? I thought she said it was supposed to be.
Oh, it's going 107.
Oh, yeah. Well, my car at one point said 109 yesterday, so I expect that today, too.
Wow.
Yeah, the weather forecasters, who are always right, by the way, said that the coast was already 5 degrees warmer today than it was at the same time yesterday morning. So I was expecting it to be a lot warmer today.
And of course, Pacific Gas and Electric up here, and
yep.
I don't, what's it called down there? It's Con Ed or something, Consolidated Edison, or anyway, they're saying, hey, folks, be careful. Don't use your AC.
Keep it below 78 or above 78.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, because it's we're running out of juice.
Yep.
Running out of juice. Wow. I just put in solar panels, more solar panels. I now have like 100 solar panels and two big Tesla batteries. So we're living off the sun and we're charging up the batteries. It's pretty cool. We're even giving some electricity back to PG&E because they need it.
Yeah.
We're donating.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's funny. We got those put in yesterday. Poor guys up on the roof in 108-degree heat. I'm sorry. But the nice thing is PG&E started turning off power that night. So we thought, well, we're safe and snug in our little beds. And because of allergies and stuff, Lisa doesn't like to go outside, though. It's really allergy season, too. So
it's been allergy season since November.
For 6 months. It's crazy. Who should I talk to first here?
Let's talk to Rob in Fullerton, California.
I know California. I've been to California. Hello, Rob in Fullerton. How are you? Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hi, thank you for taking my call, Leo. I appreciate that.
My pleasure. What can I do for you?
I was calling in regards to a 3D printer. My mother wanted one for doing cookies. That she can make her own.
A cookie printer, or she wants to make her own cookie cutters?
She wants to make her own cookies.
Oh, okay. Because you can actually. They have cooking printers too, but I would get a cookie cutter printer. I think it'd probably be better. Yeah. It is a hobbyist's delight. Okay. So, is she kind of geeky?
No, not at all. But she can get around, but
the problem with these 3D printers is they're finicky as heck. They're like in the early days of any technology. You have to calibrate a lot, and you mess with them a lot. They screw up a lot. But once you get her done, you can have a nice little cookie cutter. So that's kind of cool. I would look at, let me think about what's the best printer for newbies. I'll tell you, price-wise, Monoprice makes a very nice printer. Monoprice.com. They specialize in taking stuff people spend too much money on and selling it less. It's around $200.
Oh, that seems great.
So that way, if she hates it, you don't feel so bad. The problem is all the really good 3D printers. Monoprice has a higher end one for a little bit more, but all the good ones are going to cost you a lot of money. So I would start with Monoprice. Take a look at that. She will give up on this quickly, so that's why you don't want to spend a lot of money. It's like drones, like those quadcopters. Even though the best quadcopters, the thousands and thousands of dollar quadcopters, are easier to fly, give you better images, they're in every way are a better experience, they're so expensive that you don't really want to start with one, because if it crashes, you'll really cry. And I only say this out of my own experience, having crashed a few of them. 3D printers are kind of like that, and I've had a few of those too. They take some fussing. Now, the other way you could do this, that maybe it'd be the best thing to do to start with, is look for a maker space. These are little rental spaces, sometimes they call them hacker spaces, that you can go to, and they have the 3D printer. Better yet, they have experts, and she can try it and learn. You can go with her. Are you in the same town as she is? She in Fullerton?
She's in San Bernardino, Highland area, so about 40 minutes away.
Okay. So depending on how much you like her, you could do this with her. There are a couple in Fullerton. Oh, she's in San Bernardino, though, right?
Yeah.
Let me look at what maker spaces there are in San Bernardino. There's quite a few. In fact, the San Bernardino Community College District even runs one. So what's cool about that is you can go in there and you pay a fee. You say, I'd like to use your 3D printer. Can someone help me? And she may get all the cookie cutters she needs, except for one other thing. They're not very fast. So you'll print one cookie cutter. It'll take you an hour or two, maybe three. So they don't go. So, but I think this is a good project. It sounds like fun. I recommend it more for people who are used to new technologies and fussing and feuding with them, that kind of thing. Sounds like you might be.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
I get around.
It's 10 years ago, everybody was saying, this is the next thing, everybody can be printing everything. And then reality sunk in, as often is the case. And these things haven't gotten easier to use, unlike the PC, which did. But still, a great project. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. San Bernardino had a Mother's Day special. In Mother's Day. So they're definitely open to having people come in and doing interesting things. So that's the San Bernardino Community College. They have their own makerspace. But there's several. If you look for Makerspace San Bernardino, you're going to find a bunch of them.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate your assistance.
You're welcome. Yeah, I don't want to throw cold water on it. I mean, it's a great idea. But the reality is, you have to. So every time you use it, you have to calibrate it. Half the time, you're going to get something that's not usable. This was 3D printed. This is a mask fitter. It's cool. So somebody 3D printed these and sent them to us. And you see, they're a little rough looking, but cookie cutters is actually a really good idea because a cookie cutter doesn't have to look beautiful, right? The other thing you can do, and I've done this too, is there are plenty of places where you could sit her down, or better yet, just get a 3D. Just reaching for something I had printed. You can go online and get cookie cutters, or she can design hers, and then you send it off. There are a lot of services. I had these 3D printed to match my face. This is by a dental company that prints dental work, and it's cheap. This was $20, and it's made out of the same material you make teeth out of. So these things can be really, really strong and good. So that's the other option, is get a service to do it.
Yeah, I've done that one for myself.
Yeah. I think if it's a one-off, I mean, it depends on how serious she is, right?
And she loves doing her cookies. So.
Yeah, well, she's serious about cookies, but this isn't cookies.
She wants to take it to the next level.
Oh, I love it. What kind of cookies does she want to cut? Does she have some?
I don't even have a clue.
She wants to do some TIE fighter cookies and stuff like that. It's cool. My son's Navy ship or something. Oh, wouldn't that be cool? Send him a bunch of cookies to the sailors. All 3DP has a curated. I'll put a link in the show notes. The chat room just put it up. A curated link to really cool 3D cookie cutters. Like here's a C3PO. Here's a mustache. There's some fun ones. Triceratops that you can assemble out of gingerbread. Batman. So people are doing this for sure. It's really a good idea. Yeah, she could print cookies that said, the name of the ship or something. It'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, so I think that's what she was leaning towards doing.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Or a shark.
Yeah.
Hey, have a great one. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it, Rob.
Great.
Take care.
Thank you, Leo.
Bye-bye. Hey, let me talk about our fine sponsor for this segment of the Tech Guy Show. It's Melissa. I love you, Melissa. Melissa's an awesome solution for anybody who has a mailing list or customer data of any kind. You know that on average, about 30% of your customer data goes bad every year. People move, email addresses change, phone numbers change. Then there's also the problem of duplicates. That's hard to root out without ruining your database. Melissa makes sure your data is accurate and current, so you don't waste money mailing more than one copy to people. You don't waste time sending it to the wrong place. We got masks. So I was telling the story of our former T-shirt provider. I won't say their name. Their customer database got messed up. And I apologize if you ordered a mask from them. We're giving everybody refunds. We have a new fulfillment group. But they mailed everything to one guy in Florida. He just sent us and it's not just us. It's a bunch of brands. I can show you these masks. If they had Melissa, none of this would have happened. They've lost us as a customer, they've embarrassed themselves, and they've made a lot of people unhappy. You got to make sure your customer data is okay. Melissa will do it for you. Verify addresses, emails, phone numbers, and names. You can even do it in real time because people, fat finger things. Customers make mistakes on your shopping cart. Customer service reps are listening but miss. It speeds them up because they start typing an address and it finishes it. And the duplicated records are bad news all around. Melissa helps you verify your data at the point of entry. You can match and consolidate your records. Their matching and dedupe tools help you uncover, merge, and purge hard-to-find duplicate records. So you always have an accurate list of your customers. And are they flexible. On premises, sure. Web service, you bet. You could use their secure FTP to upload files, clean them, download them. They even offer software as a service, and they have an API that you can add to your shopping cart or your software to automatically do this. And by the way, never worry about your data. Melissa continually undergoes independent security audits to reinforce their commitment to data security, privacy, and compliance requirements. Of course they do. They have the utmost dedication to your data's security. 10,000 businesses trust the data experts. You can trust Melissa to be your foundation for data-driven success. Right now, they're also supporting communities and qualifying essential workers during the COVID-19 crisis. If your organization qualifies, you get 6 months of free Melissa service. Free. You can apply online at the website, melissa.com/twit. In fact, when you go there, you can try their API. It's their developer portal. You can log on, sign up, start playing with the API anytime. You can even get 1,000 records cleaned for free. melissa.com/twit. melissa.com/twit. Melissa, they're the experts. By the way, you can also identify your customers by adding customer demographic information to your records, property and mortgage data, marital status, social media handles, extra, if there's extra emails or phone numbers, they can complete that data record. You just start typing, it all fills in. It's actually magical. Melissa.com/twit. If you're a business with customer lists, with mailing lists, and you're not using Melissa, you're not doing it right. Melissa.melissa, melissa.com/twit. I'll tell you what is hip. It's this cat right here, man. Mr. Scott Wilkinson. He is our hipster theater geek and joins us every week to talk about home theater, AV, big screen TVs, all of that. Hi, Scott.
Hey, Leo. How's it going?
Happy heat wave.
Happy heat wave to you. It's well over 100 down here in L.A.
Yikes. Yikes.
And it's so funny to watch the weather report, and the 7-day forecast every day is over 100.
Yeah, we got a weather service warning. It's going to be 5 days of heat wave. We're having a heat wave.
Heat wave.
A drop.
Right.
The only thing missing is Marilyn Monroe in a subway grate, and I'd be set. I'm speaking of a fine movie. I'm starting to dig into the archives now because I've seen all the new stuff. But there's a great movie channel called the Criterion Channel. I think it's $5 a month. And I'm having so much fun watching old movies. Classics, all kinds. There's a double bill I'm watching right now, Hollywood double bill with Robert Townsend's Hollywood Shuffle, followed by Robert Altman's The Player. Great double feature, right?
Wow.
This is a good day to take off your clothes, spritz yourself, and watch TV.
Yep. And stay hydrated. Drink a lot of water. And hopefully your air conditioning works.
So, how much? Oh, yeah, okay. They were telling me how hot it is. What is up, Scott Wilkinson? Give us some home theater stuff.
Well, actually, I wanted to tell you about a review I just finished of a pair of headphones, which for those of you who are on the stream and can see it, I'm wearing right now.
Oh, they're pretty.
They're very pretty. They're from a company called Focal, which is a French company, a very high-end company. And they have several models of headphones. They only started making headphones in 2012, although they've been around making speakers for 40 years.
Yes, in fact, very famous, very expensive.
Very expensive, very famous, really high quality, really good sounding speakers.
Briefly, there was a fad among the Silicon Valley elite to get these weird-looking Focal speakers they were all into.
Right, which actually sounded phenomenal.
Did they?
And oh yeah, I've heard them.
But they were expensive.
Super expensive. Oh, yeah.
Well, wait a minute. I just saw the price of these fancy Mystic bronze things you're wearing. Holy cow. Holy cow.
Yeah.
So
not
these
for
are
the faint of heart.
$3,000 headphones. What makes them worth $3,000?
Well, I will tell you. They are easily the best sounding headphones I've ever heard.
Oh, don't say that. Now I'm going to want them. What makes them sound good? What makes them sound good?
Well, the first word that kept coming up in my notes was clarity.
Yeah.
They are just so clear. I can hear deeply into the mix, even complex mixes, really dense mixes. Like this musician, I'm really into this musician these days by the name of Jacob Collier. Have you heard of him?
No.
Oh, man, you must go find his music. He just released his fourth album. He's 26 years old.
Oh, man.
And
man. What does he play?
Everything.
And what kind of music is it?
Well, I call it a mix between jazz, rock, and pop, but it exceeds and transcends all of those. He has often been called a millennial Mozart, and I think that's a completely apt description. Collier, Jacob Collier is a British guy. He's amazing. Really amazing. And his mixes are very dense. He does a lot of vocal overlaying. I just heard an interview today with him, and he said one of the tracks on his latest album had 600 tracks on it.
So I'm going to kind of describe what you're talking about, because I have a very nice set of Hi-Fi Man. They were only $1,000. They're planar magnetic, but I kind of know what you're talking about, because if you use the normal run-of-the-mill earbuds with playing off your iPhone or something like that,
right?
It's hard to describe, but everything is kind of a wall of sound. It's mushed,
kind of compressed together
into
it feels dense.
You're hearing the music, you're hearing it all, but it's kind of all a one-piece thing. Right. And I've noticed with these good headphones, it takes that music, it starts to open it up and spread it out. It's almost as if the instruments are getting some distance from each other, and you can hear the spaces in between. Now, you're a musician, so musicians have a very different appreciation of sound. In fact, I've heard many musicians, I think even you have said this, don't really like to listen to recorded music because it can't approximate the experience of sitting in a symphony or in a band and hearing the music live.
Right. I've said many times that I don't consider myself an audiophile, because spending thousands of dollars on speakers and amps and preamps and so on, it never replicates the live experience for me. And that's really the ultimate for me. But having said that, these headphones get really darn close. I mean, I have sat and just listened. I'm telling you, the word clarity comes to mind. The word balanced comes to mind. Yeah. So, there's not an overemphasis of bass or a shrill treble.
That's another thing that a lot of consumer-grade headphones, take your Beats, for instance, they boost the bass. People like that. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
But it muddies the sound overall. You want to hear it as if you're sitting with the musicians, right?
That's right. And these headphones do that.
Oh, you're killing me.
And that's what you get for your $3,000.
You're killing me. Although, if you think about it, you'd spend that much on a good set of speakers, right? And a good stereo.
Easily.
Now, what do you drive these with, right?
Well, they have an input impedance, which is a resistance to electrical current. But in any event, 35 ohms, I think.
That's really high.
No, some headphones go as high as 600.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So these are relatively easy to drive. For my review, I used the iFi hip DAC. You know the hip DAC, right?
Mine broke like 2 weeks in.
Oh, man, you need to get another one.
I can't.
Why not? They ran out?
I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to get it returned. It's just very frustrating.
Oh, I can help you with that.
Yeah. Well, I bought it from headphones.com. And,
okay. Well,
they still haven't sent me an RMA. It's all COVID stuff, right? So
yeah, it is.
They said we don't know if we can get these fixed or you get more, because this company is not really, they're jammed. So
and they source all their stuff from China, so that could be a problem too.
My case. But you'd want a good DAC with this. Don't plug this into your. You would
want a good DAC and a good amplifier. Now,
don't
Focal,
set it up for Bluetooth or something. That'd be cuckoo.
No, these are not Bluetooth. They're wired.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, I used the hip DAC and it sounded phenomenal. I've also got Focal's amplifier that I'm going to be reviewing in the next month or two, called the Arch. And that's only $2,500.
Well, and for a penny and for a pound.
Exactly. And if you buy them as a pair on Amazon, even you save like $1,500.
So the amplifier though you still need to have a good source going into the amplifier.
Correct.
A CD player is okay.
I will use an Oppo universal disc player and play SACDs. On my review of the headphones, I use Tidal Master, which is their online streaming service of uncompressed high-res audio through the hip DAC. Sounded amazing, really amazing.
So these, we haven't said the name because nobody should buy these because they're too expensive.
They're called the Stellia.
Stellia. It's from Focal. It's pronounced Focal. You would say it in English, focal, but they're French, so they can't say it the same.
Focal Stellia headphones.
Wow. And his review
the best headphone.
is on techhive.com. That's where Scott's a contributor. Thank you, Scott Wilkinson, for making me drool and want to spend money I can't afford to spend. But well done. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. And now I want to listen to Jacob Collier.
Oh, you must listen to Jacob Collier. You must.
But I don't dare listen to Jacob Collier until I have a good set of headphones.
Well, listen to him on your Hi-Fi Man.
The Hi-Fi Man, the reason I know what you're talking about is because the minute I listened on the Hi-Fi Man, that was my exact reaction. Is they sound so open. It's hard to describe. Open, airy,
clear,
spatial.
Yeah, exactly. Another word I used in my review was they have an excellent soundstage. Yeah. So I know exactly what you're talking about, but I guess you have to. Why do you have to pay so much for that? Well, I mean, Focal is a high-end brand.
What are they? Are these planar magnetic, or what are they doing?
No, they're dynamic drivers. One thing I didn't say on the air there is also the super high-end materials they use. I mean, these are leather ear pads, and they're really comfortable. This thing is the most comfortable headphone I've ever worn. Also, it's just I could have it on my head for hours and it wouldn't hurt.
Wow.
The large ear pads that fit completely over my ears. There's no pushing on any part of my ear. It's just sitting in there nice and comfy.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's really
so jealous.
Quite amazing. Yeah, well, I'm going to get to keep these until I do the amp review, and then I'm going to have to send them back.
I know. Isn't that a bummer?
I know, unless I cough up the dough, and I'm not gonna. I can't. I can't afford.
No.
Even at a discount that we get, I can't afford.
No, that's crazy. It's crazy talk.
It's crazy talk, but you sometimes, as a reviewer, I get lucky, and I get to hear something so amazing that it really knocks my socks off. So this is the only. What's that?
Nothing. That was just an ad.
Oh, that was the ad. Okay. Yeah. This is only the second product I've ever given a 5 rating to on Tech.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
Only 2. And I try to be very, I give them out very carefully and not very often. The only other one was the One More triple driver in-ears. And I gave it to them because they actually sounded phenomenally good, and they're $80.
Yeah.
So even though these ones are $3,000, I debated. Should I really give them a 5 because they're so expensive? But they sound so phenomenal. I talked to my editor about it, and he said, "Yeah, I'd give it to him."
That's so
I did.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So now now I get to listen to him for the next couple months anyway.
Oh, so jealous. You're going to be spoiled, though.
I know. We're actually, my wife and I are doing some recording, and I'm using these to monitor the recording. Because why not?
Of course. I would.
Indeed. And in fact, here I am listening to
this. A complete waste for that.
I know.
Complete waste of headphones for that.
It's vocals, yeah. But I can't recommend enough, whatever headphones you have or speakers or whatever, go listen to Jacob Collier.
Now, if you're hard of hearing, now you're old like me.
I'm older, yeah.
I guess even then, good headphones are worth it.
Yeah, they are. Unless you have some profound hearing loss. But if you have just sort of
hearing
normal...
aids correct for the mid-range. You could EQ it to be flat. You'd probably have to have some help to do that. But I guess if you go to an audiologist, anyway, can you stick around for the top of the hour?
Yeah, sure.
All right, good. The amazing Jacob Collier remix of Hunka Hunka Burnin' Love. Oh, this isn't Jacob Collier? Oh, okay. Never mind. 8888. He sounds so much like Elvis. 8888. Ask Leo. The phone number. Actually, Jacob Collier has a viral hit, a remix of the classic Stevie Wonder song. Maybe you could play "Don't You Worry About a Thing" next hour, Professor. If I'm asking my musical director, Professor, if you could play a little Jacob Collier for us, it'll be wasted because we'll have to compress the heck out of it to get us through the little tiny pipe that's called the radio. But it would be worth, I think, the effort. Let's go on with the show. What do you say? More calls, huh? Elizabeth, Rancho Mirage, California. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, thank you for extracting some laughter from Scott for me. You know how I love it.
Isn't it great? Laugh, Scott, laugh. Dance, monkey.
You rank amateurs complaining about a couple of days of heat. Come on down to the desert and show you what it's really like.
They don't call it Mirage for nothing, do they? Oh, man.
Okay, I have a main question about my printer, and if I can sneak another little one in, I'd appreciate it.
Sure.
I have a HP OfficeJet Pro 8715, but according to the screen on the printer, like a tutorial screen and information, it tells me it's an 8710, so somebody missed the boat there.
Maybe. Sometimes what happens, in fact, I would guess it's this case here, is they have a line of printers, the 8710 line, and then depending on the features, it'd be 8711, 8712, 8715. So it may be driver-wise, it's the 8710 driver, but that doesn't mean you don't have an 8715. Okay. Yeah.
At any rate, it told me I needed a new black cartridge. Now, the cartridges that were in there were the originals, so they're over a year old. I do some printing.
That's impressive.
I hadn't unpacked the printer for a long time. I was reconfiguring an office. At any rate, so I replaced the black cartridge. Yeah. And I'm horrible about letting screens just fly by.
Okay. Just get going. Okay.
Yeah. So at any rate, as I was flicking through the last screen, I thought I saw a magenta dot, like it was trying to tell me something about the color cartridges. But that was after I purchased and installed the black one. Well, now it will not print anything. I've taken all the cartridges out, reloaded. I've gone to support.
Have you actually looked at the printer setup software to see? Because any warning messages that flashes on the screen will be repeated there. I'll tell you one thing HP does. A lot of printer makers do. I'm not fond of. They put security chips in their cartridges. And if you buy a counterfeit cartridge, did you buy the cartridge on Amazon? Where'd you get the new black?
Staples.
Okay, that's probably all right then. If you get it at a big office supply store, you're certainly okay. It's easy, though, on Amazon to get counterfeit cartridges, and Amazon doesn't do a very good job of blocking that. And it would say HP. It would say the brand name and everything, but they'd just be counterfeit. So that's probably not the problem, but you want to go and get those diagnostics, which you can get from the software. Do you have the HP software on your computer that goes to that printer?
The disc that came with it, you mean?
Don't do the disc. That'll be, that thing has dust on it. That'll be so old. Just go to hp.com.
Okay.
And download the latest software for the 8715.
Okay.
And in that will be, and it's a package. It's more than just a driver. There's a bunch of stuff, and diagnostics will be in there. And it'll tell you why it won't print.
Well, I guess I did look at that, and my problem is because I'm really such a novice, so unknowledgeable with tech that there was terminology that I really didn't understand, and I get afraid to click on something.
Oh, I don't blame you. It's not. Yeah, I don't blame you. So what did it? Do you remember what it said?
No.
No.
I'm trying to find it real quick, like a bunny here, but you'd be proud of me, Leo. I found the settings for my laptop where I was able to disengage the mouse pad because it was making me crazy. However, I'm left with a sideways screen, and I don't know how to get out of it.
I hate it when that happens. Let me get the printer first, then we'll get to the sideways screen.
Okay.
So Scooter X in our chat room says one thing that sometimes fixes this with these HP printers is what they call resetting it, which it really isn't really resetting it, but that's what they call it. And he's getting this from the HP support site. With the printer turned on, disconnect the power cord from the back of the printer.
Okay.
Or actually, you could unplug it from the power source either way, but I would unplug it from the back of the printer. This also says unplug the power cord from the power source. Like, that would help. I don't know why it would. Wait a minute, then reconnect the power cord. So, reading between the lines, it sounds like the printer has some memory that it stores settings in, and this is going to clear that out.
Okay.
Yeah. So that comes from HP's own support site on the 8715.
Well, he did better than I did with it because he found something that offered hope.
Well, it's scant hope.
I heard that in your voice. Okay.
It's scant hope, but it's hope. Printer problems are notorious. I mean, honestly, these printers are designed to be used in an office where the IT guy, and by the way, every IT person I've ever talked to, used to work with Kate Botello, who was in IT. She would say, the call you don't want to get is the printer's not working. It's just, it's such a pain in the... So I would say this is merely one step in what could be many. It's hard for me to tell why it won't print. You're pretty sure you got all the cartridges in right. That would be one reason.
Yeah.
It may be that one of the other colors is out. So there is a little way to... You could see it on the front of the printer, or you can use that software. Download the latest software from HP. But the diagnostic stuff will tell you the ink levels in all the cartridges.
Well, I can't. You're suggesting that I do something more than I've been capable of doing up till now, because I could not see a distinction. I even thought about just going in because they're so old, but I wish I had known prior to the fact, because I could have gotten a better price by buying them all at once.
Right.
I thought
always buy cartridges by the full set, because inevitably, if one is run out, the others are about to.
So if I change the other three, the color ones, it's possible that could correct my problem.
Yeah, it's that's the problem. It's voodoo. I don't know, because I don't know what's wrong. You gotta really, get the Elizabeth. You've got a knack for getting in. So what I would do is get that diagnostic screen up, see if you can understand it, and if you can't, call and ask, and I'll help you.
Okay.
Now, what was the other question? What's the sideways thing?
My Dell Inspiron 14 oldie that was locked for so long, and I finally got that handled. In using the touchpad, I inadvertently made it's kind of like the opposite of portrait. It's
you turned it sideways.
Yes, and I don't know how to undo that. And I played and tried, and
you're not the person who called last week and said my screen is upside down.
No.
Okay, it's the same answer though. There's actually a rotate screen. I'm going to tell you the way to do it kind of permanently. You're Windows 10, right?
Yes.
Okay. In the display settings, so you go to the control panel. Easiest way to do this is hit Windows key displays. There is a orientation setting where you can choose landscape, portrait, landscape flipped, or portrait flipped. You can also do this with hotkeys, Control, Alt, and the arrow. That's what happens, by the way. It can happen accidentally by pressing Control, Alt, up arrow, and it flips the screen, or Control, Alt, left arrow, and it rotates it 90 degrees. So if you don't want to open the control panel, hold the Control key, the Alt key, and then play with the arrow keys till you get the screen the way you like it. This is great fun for all. You want to mess with somebody, hit Control, Alt, and rotate. Pleasure talking to you, Elizabeth. I'll get Scott to laugh for you one more time. And now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I give you Scott Wilkinsonian and his laugh. I made him laugh again. You're cheering Elizabeth up, that's for sure.
It's pretty easy to do that, actually.
Yours is so much nicer. I got to get the Yes.
Well,
Mine is more It's not a good laugh. Not a good
Just
laugh.
wait until Christmas time.
Did you work on your laugh, or did it just come that way?
No, totally natural. I don't work on it at all.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I've even had some people say it's annoying.
Well, if you start fixating on things like that, it's always annoying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway, yours.
Thank you. We've been talking in the chat room about pancakes. And I think Titus was wanting to. Titus said, disconnect the power cord, go make pancakes, and then reconnect the power cord.
That's right. That was the. I'm going to go make tea. How about that?
Tea is good. Go make tea. But I was saying how much I like blueberry banana pancakes, specifically with what used to be called grade B maple syrup, what's now called dark robust grade A. It's got much more flavor saturation, deeper lemon maple flavor. That's the stuff. UJ, yes, new different headphones today. I guess you weren't on earlier. This is what I talked about on my segment with Leo. These are the Focal Stellia. The best headphones I've ever heard, without question. I just posted the review on TechHive, so go to techhive.com, and it should be right at the top. And, they better damn well be the best headphones I've ever heard, because they list for $3,000. And that doesn't include an amp. You can buy an amp from Focal for another $2,500. And if you buy them together, you get $1,500 off the pair. So, that's something. I'm going to be reviewing the amp later, but these sound so wonderful. And they're so comfortable. I mean, I can easily wear them for hours. They don't clamp down. Some headphones, they sort of clamp down on your head. Others, the ear pads are a little too small for me anyway. And so they kind of press down on the edges of my ears, and that gets uncomfortable after a while. So now that doesn't happen with in-ears. In-ears get uncomfortable after a while for other reasons, but these are just so wonderful. Let's see here. What do we got? Edmonton Oiler guy has a Panasonic 3D home theater projector, the PTA E8000. Good. That was a great projector in its day. Would I fix it for $800? Ooh, that's a good question. It's 1080p, right? For $800, I wouldn't spend more than that. You ask what's my limit. I probably wouldn't spend more than that. I mean, if you get a new projector, you'd have one with simulated 4K, not real 4K. But you'd have HDR. You'd probably have brighter. You'd probably get a laser projector for $2,000 to $3,000, right? So, sure, spend up to $1,000 bucks, get it repaired. But if you can stretch to 2 or 3, you would you'd be able to get a laser illuminated projector, greater detail, HDR. HDR in a projector isn't as impressive as it is on a flat panel, but it's still not bad. Still better than not at all. So that's how I feel about it. Irvine Bob, perhaps they'll get lost in the mail during return. I somehow don't think Focal would buy that. Beatmaster, did I catch up on the link I posted about Disney dropping production of most, if not all, physical media? No, I actually. Oh, yes, physical media. They, as far as I could tell from that, they were only dropping physical media for catalog titles, library titles, not new titles. Now, how many new titles are going to come out from Disney in the next couple of years is a big question. I've been talking next week. I'm going to be talking about a podcast I was just on for the HPA, the Hollywood Professionals Association. That'll be posted next week. And we talked about many things, among which was production. and how production has been changed, and how physical production is now much more challenging. I even mentioned that some soap operas are now using mannequins in kissing scenes. And the host of the podcast said, yeah, either that or the actor's actual partner, because they're quarantining together. And so they already share contaminants. That's changing things. Obviously, live action productions can't have a lot of people on the set. Things still have to be physically distanced. Next year we will have run out of stuff that had already been produced. And then what's going to happen? So as far as Disney's concerned, getting back to your question, releasing stuff on physical media, they're not going to do library titles anymore, catalog titles. And that's something I had intended to talk to Leo about at some point, because I know that he believes physical media is on its way out. And that is an indicator in support of his argument. I would have to agree with.
It's even worse than that now, because I think they see Disney Plus as the solution there. They don't even want you to own a download of it. They just want you to stream it. So we're taking a step beyond the end of physical media to the end of ownership.
Yes.
Which, of course, Disney would love.
Sure. I don't know. I have to do the research. That they're releasing Mulan, the live action Mulan, on Disney Plus. And even as you're a subscriber, you still have to pay $30 for it.
Good luck.
It's ridiculous.
Morons.
And my question that I don't know the answer to is, do you own it at that point? Or are you just renting it?
It's a rental.
You don't.
They're doing first-run movies. I've seen $20. That's ridiculous, $30. But that's how they're doing rentals for first-run movies is $20, because they figure, well, you'd spend that much if two of you went to see it. So
exactly. Well, and I suppose,
by the way, that failed. The only thing that was a success was the first one, Trolls World Tour.
Yes.
And then The Invisible Man and a bunch of other titles they tried that with failed. So they've stopped doing it, at least as far as I can tell. Yeah.
Well, Mulan is another experiment, I'm sure.
30.
Somebody asked $30. And so, okay, sure. You go to the movies, you spend $10 to $20 a ticket. I would have spent $20 at a Dolby Cinema. And if you take somebody, then that's $40. So, okay, $30 then maybe sounds like not a bad
Scott, have a great week. Stay healthy. Talk to you next Saturday. Bye-bye. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smart watches, and all of that stuff. All that jazz, everything with a chip in it. 8888 Ask Leo. That's my phone number if you want to get on the line with me and talk high tech. That's what Jeffrey did. He's calling all the way from Brooklyn, New York. Hello, Jeffrey.
Hi, Leo. I have a question. About an hour and a half ago, I started to download and install the Windows 2004 version.
Oh, wow.
And it's still going, 61%. I just was wondering, what is the difference between the 2004 version and the previous version?
Very little.
Okay.
So the issue is, this is what we call a feature upgrade, and Microsoft does these twice a year. This is Windows 10, still Windows 10, but it's 2004, which means in the year 2020, in the month of April, get it, 2004, they will release a feature edition, and then they've done this twice a year, so there was 1903 and 1909. There was 1803 and 1809. They've fortunately, as we get into the 20s, they're realizing they're going to be confusing when we do Windows 10 2009. People are going to say, I don't want the old version. I want the new version. So they're going to stop doing that. It will now be called 20H2 for the second half of 2020. You're getting 20H1. It's 32 gigabytes in the normal course of events. You might be getting more or less because of extras that you might need to install to get it up to date, that kind of thing. Most of the features are things you'll never even notice. New designs for the aesthetics primarily. I think there are some new features. I'll be honest with you. To me, it's like, who cares? But here's the reason why you kind of have to care, is Microsoft will let you defer it, but not forever. They want everybody to be on the same version. So they for a while, you could only defer it for a month. They've now increased the deferral. Oh, I guess no. It's now a month. Before it was only a week or two. It should be longer than a month, to be honest with you. But if you want to defer it, you can go into Windows Update in the advanced options, and you can select the date that you're going to install it, but it can only be 35 days ahead of time. So eventually you're going to have to install it. Sorry about that. And I know 32 gigs is outrageous. Now, if you don't want to be bugged, if you don't want it, you can set your internet connection to something called metered. If you dig around in the internet connections, if you say metered, which means I pay for my bandwidth, please don't make me download 32 gigabytes of nothing. So that will kind of permanently defer it. But even then, it's risky to do that. At some point, Microsoft says, yeah, we're not going to, you got to, the last one I think was 1803, that's spring of 2018, 2 years ago. If you haven't updated past that, you're not going to get security patches and all sorts of things you really do want. So I don't think Microsoft should be doing this. I don't think they're adding big features. There's certainly no reason to rush and get 2004. But if you're getting it, I'm sorry that it's so big. You can do the math with your bandwidth and everything. How long is it going to take you? 32 gigs is big. That's a lot. If you had told me 20 years ago that companies would be making us download 32 gigabytes, I would have laughed at you. But that's the way it is these days. I can give you a list of features. You could look yourself if you want. I don't think there's anything that's going to make anybody sit up and take notice. They want you to do it because they want everybody to be on the same version, right? Then developers know what you have and all of that stuff. Cortana is kind of going away. It's being changed. There's Search Home has more searches, including weather, news, history, and movies. Ooh. The keyboard shortcut is getting Calmoji. There are now nameable virtual desktops. Do you hear any of this stuff make you happy? No. It's annoying. You can have Windows Store apps automatically open when you restart the machine. It's like dopey. Who cares? I don't really get it. Microsoft, somebody needs to shake them and say, Microsoft, knock it off. Can I tell you the secret? Honestly, I don't think Microsoft wants to do Windows anymore. Honestly, I think that they're 5 or 10 years from now, we'll laugh at all of this. We'll say, you had to download software? No. You just log onto your Windows account in the cloud and it's there. Always up to date. That's what they want. And of course, the only negative on this is if you don't have a lot of bandwidth or you don't have any bandwidth, it's not usable. You need to be able to be online. Does that answer your question, my friend? An hour and a half? Yeah, it sounds about right for 32 gigs.
Yeah, it's still going. I think I had 300 meg download.
Oh, God, it's going to be all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do people do if they don't? I mean, they're just assuming, oh, everybody's got 100 megabits per second. No problem. No, we don't. It's frustrating.
I do appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for the call. It's frustrating. I'll be honest with you. I've given up on Microsoft Windows. I really have. I don't run it anymore. Too many problems. On the one hand, they're always fixing these problems. Once a month on Patch Tuesday, the second Tuesday of the month, they ship out fixes. You know that, right? Every Patch Tuesday. For the last 3 months, every month has been a record number of fixes. Over 100. On the one hand, that's fine if you're fixing stuff that's, you've discovered it, it's old, and you're fixing it, that's fine. But some of this stuff, not a lot, but a few, are new problems they've introduced with their updates. Well, that's not good. You're making it worse, not better. You're fixing problems that weren't there until the update. Honestly, the way we're moving nowadays, and Microsoft knows this better than anyone, they've rejiggered the whole company to support it. I mentioned last hour, they now make more money with services than they do with Windows or Office, which used to be the drivers. They're still going up, but they're not going up as fast as Azure and their cloud stuff. That's the real business. And it's my opinion, especially for businesses, which is primarily where Windows is used. Businesses don't want this headache anymore. They don't want to do these updates. What they'd like is an always up-to-date version of Windows that they can use anytime they want just by logging in. What Microsoft likes this too, because then you pay them a monthly fee for Windows instead of buying it outright. They'd like to, that's what they did with Office, isn't it? You pay $8 a month or $20 a month, depending on the version of Office. And, they always keep it up to date. You're still downloading it to a computer, though. I see the day coming rapidly. Just look at it right now, Office on the web, which is 80% of what Office is when you download it. And it's getting better all the time. Microsoft, in the long run, is going to rent you this stuff. And they're going to rent it to you on their servers because that's what their business is. And, you'll run programs in the cloud. We know it's possible because we're seeing it happen with gaming. Microsoft has a service called xCloud that's going to launch September 15th. Play 100 games in the cloud. You could play it on anything, any dumb device, because the work is being done on servers in the cloud. You could play it on your phone. Google's doing the same thing. They have something called Stadia. NVIDIA, makers of the graphics hardware, doing the same thing. GeForce Now. Sony doing the same thing. They're all doing this. If you can stream a video game, you could stream Excel in a heartbeat. They'll have to answer a few questions. People are going to want to know about privacy and security. They're also going to know about reliability, because if your internet goes down, what do you got? They're going to have to fix that, but I think they're moving in that direction. I don't think Microsoft's heart is in Windows anymore. And honestly, my general recommendation to people is Windows, if you're in an office or you have Windows software you need to run, fine. And especially if you've got an IT department that can keep it safe and running. But if it's just you at home, I don't think Windows is a good idea. Honestly, Mac's okay, but even Mac is probably more than 90% of people need. Get an iPad or a Chromebook. More secure. It'll do everything you want. It's stable. You're not going to have these tech issues. They're designed for humans. Windows is designed for business, for an IT department. And if you use Windows, now you're the IT department. Congratulations on your promotion. I hope you get a nice fat paycheck. Our show today brought to you by Adobe Sign. I think you probably are in the same boat I am. I get frustrated. Have you ever had this happen to you? It happens to me all the time. He sends you an email with a document in it. So it's already digital, right? And they say, print this, sign it, and fax it back to us or mail it back to us. Happened to me just the other day. I thought, A, that's not secure. B, are you nuts? C, have you never heard of Adobe Sign? Adobe Sign. If you're running a business with everything going on, you're facing challenges. We know that. It's no matter what's happening, though, business has to keep going. That's where Adobe Sign can really help. Adobe Sign has processed more than 8 billion transactions from millions of signers around the globe, global startups to small startups to global organizations. What I love about it is it's more secure. It's better than a signature. And everybody nowadays accepts it. Governments accept it. It's a real digital signature, more secure, because legal e-signatures let you choose from a variety of signer verification methods, including U.S. government IDs, certificate-based employee IDs like PIV or CAC cards, whatever you need. It's HIPAA compliant, FERPA compliant, GLBA compliant. E-signatures are better, and your signees prefer it. Don't you love it when you get an Adobe sign and you just says click here, click here, click here, and you're done? And it's better. I don't care if it's permits, construction planning, health services, IT, internal stuff like your human resources. It's just better. It's more efficient. Adobe Sign can be completely easy to use, automatic, employee-driven, and self-serve workflows. Make it easy to initiate and track signing processes. You can enforce deadlines. So you could say, hey, sign it this week or forget it. Archive final documents automatically with audit trails. It's the best. And it integrates with everything you're using. Office, Salesforce, ServiceNow, Workday, whatever. And they've got APIs so you can even integrate into your own solution. Adobe Sign has solutions for any type of company, from small businesses to global companies. Please do it for me. Do it for your signers. We don't want to sign, fax, print. Keep your business moving with Adobe. Learn more about what Adobe Sign can do for your business. Go to adobe.com, A-D-O-B-E. You know Adobe. Adobe.com/business moves. Adobe.com/business moves. Because why? Because business moves with Adobe. Adobe Sign. Do it. Hot-blooded. Check it and see. Leo Laporte. Everybody in town's hot-blooded today, I'll tell you. What's the temperature now, Professor?
I don't know. I'm inside.
She's inside. It's a cool 72 degrees in the studio. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Hope you got some AC today if you're in the Southland. A lot of sun coming down. Charles is on the line. He's in Texas, where they're used to this heat. Hi, Charles from Marshall, Texas.
We're on our way up to 103 today.
Nice. It's a cool day in Marshall.
But it's a dry heat.
It's a dry heat. Marshall's in West Texas?
It's East Texas.
East Texas, I mean. Yeah.
About 120 miles east of Dallas.
So you don't get the muggy Gulf breezes or anything like that?
Yes, we do.
Oh, you do?
That's all we get.
Oy. How fun. What can I do for you today?
I called you today because I have a couple of Synology network-attached storage devices, and one backs up to the other. The other one is in a distant location, and it is that one that got hit by ransomware last Sunday.
Your Synology got hit by ransomware?
Yes.
Oh.
I didn't lose any data because I have backups of backups. This was kind of the end of the line backup.
And it's the only one that got hit. Did it get hit by, out of curiosity, ransomware designed for Synology, or was it on a network that got hit in general?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I opened the text message within Synology and read, go to this link and find out how you can uncrypt it or decrypt it. I did not do that.
Yeah, the good news is you still have the data, so you just, no big deal. Exactly. I would completely format that Synology so that if there is malware on it, you want to reinstall everything.
It's in a distant location, so I just shut it down. And when I go there again, I will reformat it and reinstall everything. Perfect. But my question is, how did it get on there? Because I went through all the security settings that I could find. And I got to be honest with you, I didn't know until this week that Synology had two-factor. Two-factor is not listed under security. It's listed under personal information, under your personal account.
Yeah,
so I missed that.
Yeah.
Is that what happened to me? Or
no, I don't think so.
Set up so that you could enable account protection where it would limit the number of login attempts. I looked at the log, and it had 3 attempts, and one of them got through.
Okay. So let me, yes, then two-factor would help. So let me explain, first of all, because people are going, what's a Synology? It's called a network-attached storage. We talk about them all the time. Basically, it's a honking big hard drive, often with multiple drives in it. My Synologies have 5 drives in them, about 40 terabytes worth of storage on those. Lots of storage. They're a computer, though. It's got a processor, memory, and all of that, and it's connected to the network. The only thing it doesn't have is a keyboard, mouse, and monitor. network attached storage is designed to be used over the network. So you log into it and you can then manage it, run software, and so forth. Synology is my favorite. That's the one I would get. QNAP, another company that makes an NAS, was bit last week by ransomware. So the question is, how'd you get it? Now, if that Synology is on a network, of course it is, right? Is it at work, or where is the Synology?
It's at home, and it's on the internet.
Okay. So there's a couple of ways you could get ransomware. If you got ransomware on a computer on the same network, nowadays ransomware generally does something called worming. It will go out over the network, look for other hard drives, other storage devices. So you can have a Synology encrypted by ransomware if it's bootable, mountable on your local computer, and your local computer gets bit by ransomware. However, if your Synology, and this is something to think about when you set up your Synology, if your Synology is visible to the public internet, most of the time you want it to be because it's perhaps serving photos or video or whatever, you should really limit it to just stuff you know you want. Don't install a web browser in PHP unless you know you need it, for instance. Synology can be run as a website. And the more services you turn on, the more public services you route through your firewall into the public internet, the more vulnerable it is. My Synology has SSH turned on, so I can log into it via SSH. That SSH server is visible to the outside world, and I have it. There's a setting which I would turn on that says, after some number of attempts, block that IP address. So I would turn that on, because what happens is, and it seems to be coming from China, they'll keep trying to log in. What you want after 3 attempts or 5 attempts is to say, no. You can also block China, which I've done. You can block whole geographic regions. You can even say, and I would suggest this, only be available to these IP addresses. Now, that may not suit if you're using it as a web server or something like that, but the idea is lock it down as much as you can. Two-factor will help. It sounds like somebody logged in. Is that what happened?
I guess that's what happened. It showed that there were 3 attempts, and the 4th one got through.
Okay.
And the IP address was in Canada, but I'm sure that was rerouted.
Yeah. You never can tell where these come from because they route through other servers. So very likely, you had a password that they could guess, and you didn't have two-factor. Once they've logged in, well, of course, you're done. You don't know what they've done, right? So the good news about a Synology is, if you can lock it down, it has very good, I think, in my opinion, very good security. I don't know of any security flaws that you have to watch out for. That would be the other way it could be hacked. But you see a login, okay, somebody got in, and what they did is they probably put a PHP script on there, and it just did it. So it's a Linux operating system. So if you know what you're doing, you can do what they did. The good news is it didn't propagate back to your other computer. That's what you want. And now you just, fortunately, you have other copies, so you wipe it and you start over. I would fully wipe it, though. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But see, you're not. Yeah. This is why you're so cool, calm, and collected. Even though it's 105 degrees, because it's not your only copy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had it limited at 5 attempts within 10 minutes.
So they got it in 4.
But I had like a 12-character alphanumeric with symbols in it. So that seems
odd that they were able to guess it, right?
Right.
So certainly block.
But that's what I wanted to know. If it came in through the login attempt is verified. So it wasn't something that maybe one of my computers uploaded.
Yeah, see, that worries me. So they logged into, did they log into DSM, the Synology software? Is that what they logged into?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's not good. Definitely turn on two-factor. That makes me think there might have been, I don't know, what services do you have turned on? Do you use FTP or web serving?
There's really nothing on it, but it's backing up other Synologies that I have, and also serves as a backup Plex server. And that's it.
So Plex is the public part, or no?
Yes.
Yeah. So if there were a flaw in the Plex software, that would be... But see, that's not what happened. Somebody logged in with a legit login. That's weird.
Yes.
That's weird. You make sure you only have one account. Don't use your admin account. Have a secondary account. Turn on two-factor. Turn off every service you don't use, which sounds like you're doing. Do you use Hyper Backup to backup between the two?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's secure as far as I know. Boy, that's scary. It could be there was an issue or somehow somebody. I would turn off DS. Well, you can't do that because you want to log in remotely, don't you?
Right.
Yeah. Use the geographic constraints. Say, you can only. I would say you can only log in from these IP addresses, something like that.
Right.
Or at least say, unless it's in Texas, I don't want to let them in. It'll take them a while to figure that out, right?
Right.
And turn on two-factor. Wow. And so you got a pop-up that said, ha ha.
Yeah, I got an email saying unauthorized login. I checked it out. It came in like at 3 a.m.
That means it was probably not Canada. So there is a security advisor. I'd run that. Synology does have some information about ransomware on their webpage. I'm looking at that right now. You of course keep DSM up to date, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah. In July 2019, there was a flaw discovered, but since you've got the up to date, so here's what they say: use a complex and strong password, create new account and administrator group, disable default admin account. That could be how they got in. Enable auto block, you got that, and then run security advisor to make sure you don't have any weak passwords. That's what they say. I think you've already been through all that.
Right.
It looks like people are going. Synology's a rich target, so I wouldn't be surprised to see people. I mean, people try to log into my Synology every day. Mostly from China. Yeah, that's because I have SSH turned on.
Right.
And that's, they go, port 22, ooh. They get all excited. It's worrisome that they had that password. Make it longer.
Yes.
Make it longer and stronger. And turn on two-factor. Yeah. I'm glad it didn't hurt.
Thank you.
I'm glad it just stung a little. Great to talk to you. Stay cool.
You too, Leo.
Thanks,
Thank
Charles.
You. Bye-bye.
See ya. Wow, that's an interesting story. He has been everywhere because he's our traveling guru, Mr. Johnny Jet, in his bright orange hat. What's your hat say, Johnny? Southwest
Airlines.
Are you that guy who gets to do the little batons as the jet comes in and like that?
No, but that would be fun. And
there's a guy on TikTok who he is that guy.
Yes,
and he posts
in Toronto.
Yeah,
I think he's in Toronto Airport.
Yeah,
actually, Pepsi even featured him in one of the commercials.
It's so cool.
They took a viral video of him doing dancing,
high speed ones. So because otherwise it takes a while. It's pretty cool. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
How are you today, Johnny?
I'm doing well, thank you. And yourself?
I am very well.
Good. Well, a couple of things.
Yeah.
Speaking of Southwest, the reason why I put this hat on is because it matches my shirt. Also because I promised last week that I would tell you what the best airlines are to fly during COVID-19.
Good.
And I wrote a post. I just put it in the chat room. I tweeted it. And so Southwest is number 2, in my opinion.
Is this based on what? Cleanliness? What is it based on?
It's based on everything I've read and my friends who've all flown multiple times. I have not, full disclosure. Right now, I don't think it's the right time to fly unless you absolutely have to.
But what are your criteria? What are you looking for, Johnny?
So, number 1 is Delta Airlines, and the reason why is because they're blocking the middle seat, and so is Southwest.
Yeah.
And JetBlue. Delta said they're going to block it. Right now, they officially said September 21st, but the CEO has said that the most likely will be into 2021. Southwest is blocking it to October 15th, I think. Alaska Airlines, October 31st, and JetBlue. I would put Alaska Airlines at 4th. But not only is it because they're blocking the middle seat, but Delta is just, everything I've heard and read is that they're just doing it right. So they board people from the back first. So, that way there's no one like going by each other in the
If you sit in the front row, right away. Everybody get on the plane is going to breathe on you on the way to their seat.
So this is the time you want to get that first row. Either, if Southwest is all coach, so you have to make sure you get that boarding card A1 or boarding zone A1. And for Delta, you need to fly first class, but you can be the last person on and the first one off. And that's what you want to do these days. United, by the way, I don't have them in here, but they are doing one thing that's right, is because the HEPA filters, HEPA, which hospitals all have, they say that they take 99.9% of the particles out of the air. But
however, there's another stat I would look for, which is how much fresh air they're mixing into the mix.
Well, that's it. And so when I did
it's one thing to filter the old air, that's a good start, but no HEPA filter is perfect.
Right.
And they're recirculating the air. So what you really want to know is how much fresh air are they adding?
True. But one of the problems is while boarding, usually they don't have the engines on, so these filters are not running. United said they're going to have these filters running during boarding and while you're taxiing on the tarmac. And that's important because you want that as much as possible.
Didn't Southwest say they were not going to clean in between flights anymore?
They said they're not going to clean like the armrests and the tray tables, I think. They just said that last week. But they're still cleaning every, they're using those misters, and then they're going to clean every night, but not between flights, which, you need to bring your wipes.
I don't mind that because I'm going to clean whether they did or not. You want to bring wipes on, and you want to sterilize anything people touch. That tray table's disgusting. The armrests, and you've always said the overhead luggage thing because they touch that thing.
And the window shade, whatever you're touching, seatbelt, the pocket.
You can't do the seats, really. They're fabric.
No, they're not. Usually they're leather.
Oh, if they're leather, I guess you
Most
could.
of them are leather.
Oh, okay.
So you do.
Okay.
And there's actually companies out there that will sell you a cover for your seat that you can wash. There's multiple things like that. But
who was that? Was it Neve Campbell? Who was the model? Neve Campbell.
Naomi Campbell.
Naomi Campbell.
But not only
she would cover everything. She looked like a snowman.
Yeah, and this is before the pandemic, and I was like in between her. I always would wipe things down, but in my article I write it's not just about Delta or Southwest or JetBlue. Also keep in mind the equipment. So if I was going to fly to Miami, which my dad is down there, I would fly American Airlines on the 777 because it's a wide body plane. It's mostly empty. You can look at the flight loads, buy a ticket last minute. If you have status like I do because I fly American so much, or used to, I could get upgraded for free, or you use your miles. This is a good time to use your miles because you don't have to try and achieve status for next year because they've already granted everyone status for next year, all the major airlines, if you already had it. So keep that in mind. But besides that, I have another thing that a website for you. We're talking about Johnny Cash, all the roads. So this one guy has created the ultimate road trip in America.
Yes, that's safe because you're in your car, right?
For sure. AAA actually said 97% of trips right now are by car.
Yeah.
And so this one guy, he's like a rocket scientist.
Yeah. I'm looking at Naomi Campbell's routine right now.
So she's using like a blanket, but there's actually coverage you can buy.
Yeah.
So this guy, I'm looking for his website, randallolson.com, and he is a chief data scientist at Foxo Bioscience.
Yeah.
And he created this road trip by using a combination of genetic algorithms and Google Maps, which I don't even know what that means, but he found out that you can go to 48 state capitals and take pictures of them all in 8.5 days.
Oh, that's cool.
And
so he's using artificial intelligence. He's basically, in computer science, they call it the traveling salesman problem. How can I most efficiently hit all of these state capitals on the shortest route? Oh, that's interesting.
And the great part about this algorithm that he wrote, you can start anywhere, any of these capitals, and it'll still be 8.5 days.
Wow.
So it doesn't matter where you live in the.
Well, that makes sense.
Obviously, the continental U.S.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So it's not Hawaii and Alaska. You're out of luck. You're gonna have to fly. But
we're going on a little road trip to Napa next week. Just a little one. My wife and I.
That.
Yeah.
So Napa's only 30 minutes from you?
Yeah, it's not a long road trip. And we're going to stay in a hotel that has cabins. so that nobody's within 100 feet of us. And we're going to have all our meals in the cabin.
Brilliant.
We're going to make them.
And are you packing stuff up? Are you bringing groceries at all?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure. Yeah, we have a little. Yeah, but they have snacks and stuff. I'm actually not worried about stuff that I eat. The more I read, it really mostly seems like the big issue is being in a closed space with somebody who's sick and they don't know because they don't have symptoms, and their vocal cords are atomizing the virus and sending it into the space as it floats around, both in droplets but also in airborne particles, and you just stand there for 15 minutes or more breathing it. That's the worst risk. So as long as nobody's in my cabin.
Yeah, I think that's one reason why Southwest, by the way, is not wiping down every seat, every flight.
I'm no epidemiologist, neither are you. But I read a lot, and the epidemiologists seem to be starting to think it's less on the surfaces and more in the air. But you are in a tube with 100 or more people all breathing.
So one of my things about international travel, which is one reason why there's not a lot of places Americans can go right now. And by the way, Europe has now extended it. Hawaii, they're talking about extending it another month. They haven't made it official. It was supposed to open up September 1st for people. Then you can go by taking a test. But now it looks like they're going to do another month.
It's okay.
Canada just
stay home. Don't go to Disney World. Just stay home. Relax. Enjoy. Just stay home. We'll get to travel next year.
It's a good time to be in North America, except it's a little warm in California.
Yeah. Winter might not be so much fun, but now it's nice. You can go to the beach. Beach is nice if you're near a beach.
Sure.
Go to the lake.
We went yesterday, and it was one of the most epic beach days ever. I posted a little snippet on my Instagram.
It was over 100 degrees in your area. Was it jammed? Was the beach crowded?
No, yesterday was not crowded.
Good. Yeah, as long as you socially distance. That sun is good. It's killing the germs. The wind is good. It's pretty safe, actually. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. JohnnyJet.com. I should have said that. I'll say it when we come back.
That's right, but I actually forgot. I wanted to say that this guy's algorithm, he also has one for a 24-hour trip where you can hit 10 state capitals in 24 hours.
I don't want to drive 24 hours and hit 10 state capitals. Who the hell cares? Why would you?
A lot of people care about counting. I mean,
yeah, it's like kind of like check them off. I would do that. How
many states have you been to?
Most. I've been to North and South Dakota. I don't know if it's that many. Well, North and South Dakota might be the only states I haven't been to.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to check.
I've never been to West Virginia.
I've been to West Virginia,
which I like to go to.
Yeah,
and
it's beautiful. The Smoky Mountains are beautiful. It's beautiful. I've pretty much been. I've been everywhere, man. Have you been to Winnemucca?
No, I have not. But after listening to this song every week, I'm
gonna go to Winnemucca, baby. No, there's nothing in Winnemucca that's. I have a friend. He's a baseball announcer. Does play-by-play for minor league, and for a while he was collecting post offices. In fact, he had a mailing list because he'd go to lots of small towns following these, AA teams, AAA teams, and he'd take pictures of the local post office. The most boring buildings in any city.
Yeah, that is a little ridiculous. I mean, there's blogs out there, people that go to different Costco's around the world.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's
which is pretty interesting actually, because they write about the local
different
stuff.
Different food. Yeah. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888. Ask Leo. Yeah, I'm looking for, you can't use Let's Get Ready to Rumble. That's, believe it or not, trademarked. And the guy who made that up will sue you if I said that, right? So I need a trademark. Let's Get Ready to Tech Guy or something like that, because I don't want Michael Buffer mad at me. Let's get ready to geek out. Yeah, it just doesn't work. Thomas in Costa Mesa, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Thomas.
Hey, Leo. We spoke about a year and a half ago as I was preparing for my walk across America.
Oh, yes, my friend. Yes.
How you doing, man?
I'm great. How'd it go?
It was incredible, life-changing.
What's the website? Because I'd love to see some of the pictures and stuff.
It's now it's thomascurran.com. I think I sent you my book too. Did you?
I did get it. Oh yeah, now I remember. Yes.
Good.
So tell us about the book.
Oh yeah, I didn't write a memoir, so I wrote a story of my walk across America with a layer of murder mixed in.
Oh, whoa! Is it a novel, or was there actual murder involved?
Well, I was never convicted.
What did you walk over somebody?
No, it's 98% nonfiction.
Oh wow! There's just a little bit of.
Yeah.
That's so great. How many miles?
3,235.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it was awesome. Raised a lot of money for the kids with cancer, and
how much did you raise?
We raised $21,220.
Oh, Thomas, that's so great.
Yeah,
that's so great.
And a lot of that came from your listeners after we talked about solar panels that one day.
Yeah, because you wanted. So, what did you end up with the tech? How did you end up doing that? Death, discovery, and carne asada. I found your book.
Yeah.
I love it, Thomas. That's so great.
So, the reason I'm calling is I'm kind of getting ready for my next odd adventure. I'm going to buy a Sprinter 170 EXT.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to convert to van life, I think. But we're going to do I'm a chef. You didn't know that, but I've been a chef for 30 years. And we're going to do a TV cooking show out of it. And
perfect.
What I want to ask you about are projectors. And a good quality projector for the interior that I could easily bring outside and project on an exterior screen as well. And one that, I could plug a Roku in or something like that, or one that's already got Netflix and all that built into it.
Oh, there are a lot of choices out there. You're actually in very good shape. So Scott Wilkinson, our home theater guy, talks about these a lot. Your price range from a few $100s to tens of thousands of dollars. So that's going to be the difference. I'm going to say you're better off with a laser-based projector only because the bulbs burn out fast and they're expensive. And the last thing you want on the road as you're driving around is have to find a projector bulb. So I would suggest looking for a laser projector. They're going to be a little more expensive. I think it makes it up because you save money. Each bulb is over $100. So so I think you're going to make it up in the money saved. Epson makes excellent home laser projectors for entertainment. They're, I should mention our sponsor. I think they make some really good ones under $1,000. So you could shop around a little bit on that.
Are they somewhat portable? Can you?
Oh yeah. Well, your Sprinter, you got a lot of space in that Sprinter. They're all 3 LCD, which I like. It gives you red, green, and blue. About $650 you can get the Epson Home Cinema 1060. That's a 1080p projector, which is nice. Don't worry about, as Scott says, high dynamic range. Projectors don't really do that. There is one that they sell, the EF100. That has the streaming built in. That's a little more expensive, and that one's laser. But that's $900, a little more expensive. And yet, I think that price is very, very good for a laser projector. Okay. That's the EF100. And yeah, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that big. It's it's the size of 2 shoeboxes, maybe.
Got it. Okay.
The screen's bigger. But, you probably, Sprinters, that's a nice vehicle. I'm jealous. I've always thought that would be kind of fun, is to get a Sprinter, fix it up with bunk beds and stuff, and take off and see the world. The side, you could just have a screen on the side of the thing that you pull down. Something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Then it's not inside. Yeah.
Yeah. So cool.
So, yeah, that's my only real thing. You're looking for high lumens, the brighter the better, but projectors, it's going to be night usually when you're using it, so that's not as big a deal. I like the idea of a laser. I also think a laser will do better on the road, bouncing around and stuff like that. You're going to really want to put that in some foam so it doesn't get jiggled too much. You don't want it to get out of alignment. Look at the EF100. It's got Netflix, YouTube, HBO. It's all built in.
Okay, I'll check that out.
I think it's a really nice kind of cinema projector. Under $1,000 is pretty impressive, I got to say.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Actually.
So what kind of chef?
I was a pastry chef and owned a couple restaurants down here in Orange County. And
that's awesome.
I've done it all. Yeah.
So are you going to do, is it going to be a little bit of a food truck, this Sprinter? Are you going to have a little side thing where you're sending out?
No. I'm going to live in it. I know a lot of chefs, and I think it'd be fun to drag them out of their big, nice commercial kitchens and make them figure it out inside of a Sprinter,
fun.
you know?
Oh, what fun.
Yeah.
So what kind of stove do you put in there? You don't put a gas stove in there. You got to have...
No, I'm going to put induction.
Inductions.
I'm not gonna have any propane in it.
Yeah. Good.
I'm gonna do as much on the diesel as I can, but there's no really good diesel inductions yet.
This is fascinating.
So,
I want to see your next book. So if you want to get Thomas's book, A Little Murder, A Little Walking Across America, all for a good cause, it's thomascurran.com. And it's Death, Discovery, and Carne Asada.
And you did get your copy, right?
Yeah, I think so. No,
I mailed it to you about 2 months ago.
Oh.
But,
did you mail it to the post office box?
I probably mailed it to whatever.
Yeah, I bet you mailed it to the post office box. I haven't been there in a while. It's probably waiting for me. Yeah, I haven't gone to the post office since COVID. So, I bet you it's waiting for me. You know what? That gives me an excuse to go in there. I'll get on my special suit and go over there and get my stuff. Hey, it's really a pleasure talking to you. I'm so impressed that you actually did it. How many pairs of shoes did you go through?
8 pair of shoes. Yeah.
And were you sore, or was it hard to do, or did you feel like, this is kind of fun?
You know, it took about 2 or 3 weeks for my body to adjust, but once I got there, it was me and my dog. We were doing about 20 to 25 miles a day.
And you saw America.
Yeah, at 3 miles an hour.
Perfect.
Pretty awesome.
I'm kind of jealous. Especially, you know what? I understand the life of a chef. It's hard work. It's you kill yourself every day. It's nice when you're going to take some time off to slow down a little bit. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, for sure.
What a pleasure to hear from you, Thomas. I'm so impressed.
Yeah,
I'm so impressed you did that. Thank you, Thomas.
By the way, I did end up getting the solar panel you told me to get.
Yeah?
I never used it. Not once. After all that planning.
Why, were you able to plug in every night? Is that why?
Yeah, I just steal power from wherever.
Borrow. It's just borrow. You'll give it back someday. Someday. Pleasure talking to you. Congratulations, and thank you for raising all that money. That's awesome. That's just awesome. Hey, I got to talk about our fine sponsor on our podcast. Couldn't do it without you-know-who, LastPass. Here I am, sitting in the beautiful LastPass studios. Air conditioning provided by LastPass. Dick DeBartolo provided by LastPass. LastPass is the password manager, not just for home, but for business, too. 96% of organizations, when LastPass surveyed them, said that their remote workforce has really impacted their password management. They call it identity and access management. Same idea. Your employees have to access your vital assets, your bank accounts, your databases, your websites, all of that stuff. They need passwords to do that, to do their job, right? The QuickBooks login, if nothing else, right? So how do you do that? Do you just give it to them? They write it on a Post-it note and put it on the monitor? I hope not. Especially if they're not even in the office, if they're at home. No. No. Trust me, you need LastPass. I've been using LastPass for 12 years. Love it. That's personally. We've been using it at TWiT, at my company, for at least 5 years, because it makes it possible for employees to get their work done more easily and more securely. That's really key. Of course, you get secure password storage. Your employees get their own vault for storing not only app and web logins, but I use it to store my passports, my driver's license, anything, my will, anything that's you want secure but available. And because LastPass is everywhere you are, your phone, your tablets, your laptops, your computers, it works everywhere. Windows, Mac, Linux, iOS, Android, everywhere. Your data is only decrypted on device. Never decrypted anywhere else, so it's private, it's secure, but it's with you wherever you are all the time. LastPass never transmits your password. They don't know it. They can't get it. That means hackers can't get it either. Only you know that, your master password. They never decrypt it anywhere except on your devices. So it's super secure. It's autofill means on the phone and on the desktop means you never have to manually type anything. Employees like that. They even have now single sign-on, more than 1,300 single sign-on apps. I love that. Have you seen that where you go log into your Microsoft account or whatever, and then it pops up on your phone, says, is that you? And you say, yes, that's single sign-on. Believe it or not, that's more secure than passwords. Get rid of passwords. You know, we still have to have them. And LastPass does the best job with them. But if we can move past passwords, we will, and LastPass will help you. They also have simplifies user management, so it's easy to add and remove users or automate user management with directory integration. Completely enforceable policies we require, for instance, two-factor. And you'll be able to you'll have a view of everybody who's using what resources when from where. That's what you need. Managing user identity centrally and securely makes sure that the right person's doing the right thing at the right time. LastPass's IAM solutions help businesses improve the employee experience and safeguard from cyber threats. Let your remote workforce focus on their work. Don't compromise your business's security. Get LastPass. That's my advice to everybody. LastPass.com/twit. LastPass.com/twit. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Time for Tech Talk. Computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smart watches, anything on your mind if it has a chip in it. 8888 Ask Leo is the phone number. Back to the phones we go. We go to Virginia Beach, VA. Charles is on the line. Hi, Charles.
Hello, Leo. Thank you for taking my call from Wetton-Ferry, Virginia.
Well, it's great to hear from you.
So I'm going to chalk this one up under the realm of the simple things are always hard. And I had to laugh actually at the beginning when you were talking about a little while ago about Microsoft and Azure. I was just working on some Azure classes. Like, wow, boy, it's all interesting stuff we're getting into. But I had a question about Apple stuff on my Mac Mini. Following some of your advice about keeping stuff stored off to a hard drive. Mm-hmm. And so I have Seagate external hard drives and been breaking down my library's files and breaking into smaller chunks and put them off the hard drive. So recently, about last year or so, I've been running into a weird little issue where I've been looking at the file in the drive, and I noticed that for some reason, the size of the file isn't off, or isn't right. For example, it's in the megabyte range when I know it should be up in the gigabyte range. So is there any way I could... I'm just trying to figure out why it would...
That's certainly a sign for concern, right? If you think you have gigabytes of photos on your hard drive and your computer's saying, yeah, you got megabytes, I'd be worried. Can you look at those photos? Do you see them? Are they there?
Yeah. There. And,
uh-oh, somebody's at the door. You want to go get that? Is the UPS guy there?
Yeah, sorry, had the alarm system going here. So yeah, I can see the photos just fine, and if I go into like the OS system, when you look about storage,
yeah,
the file size right there. But if I'm actually, it's only been the more recent photo files too that's been happening. So I don't know if it's something
that's puzzling. Is it? It's a Mac, you said. Yeah. And are you using Apple's Photos app to store?
Yes. Yeah.
And you're looking at, because Photos has what looks like single file where it stores everything. You're looking at that file?
All right. Yep. Yes.
All right. So the first thing I would do that's kind of a magical thing is if you right-click on the photos library. That's where Apple stores the photos. It looks like it's a file, but if you right-click on it and you say open show package contents, you'll see there's actually a lot there. And the most important one from your point of view is what it calls the originals. Now, they've munged up all the file names and everything, but all of these should be your original photos. So look in there and you know, the next time you upload a photo to Apple's Photos, make sure that it's being copied. One thing I guess could be happening is it could be copied in a lower quality format. What I think is happening, if you go into the Photos settings on your Mac, so open Photos, hit Command, comma, there's a feature called iCloud Photo Storage. Now, this is actually because, and it started on the iPhone, because people were filling up their iPhones and couldn't figure out how to get photos off of their iPhone, right? And so I've said this before. I've actually talked to people who said, I'm going to buy a new iPhone. Mine's full. No, that's crazy. So Apple started turning on this thing called iCloud Photos. And you have two choices when you turn this on. It'll be in the settings for Photos. If, and I suspect this is the case, you've turned on Optimize Mac Storage, you'll see it even says if your Mac is low on space, full resolution photos and videos, that is the originals, are automatically replaced with smaller device-sized versions. They'll be JPEGs. But the full-resolution versions are continue to be stored in the cloud. So the next thing I would do is go to the iPhotos. Actually, this is the first thing I would do. Go to the iPhotos setting. Look in iCloud and see if you've got the originals on your Mac. That's what you want. Apple optimizes now, both on the iPhone. As I said, they started with the iPhone, and they now do it on Mac OS because that's Apple. That's very Apple. So the idea is, with Apple, people are stupid. Let's face it. Users don't know what they're doing. So we're going to do it for them. And we know what they want. We know they're running out of room on their hard drive. All they want to do is browse through their pictures. So we will, and by the way, there's a benefit to Apple on this because you use more and more iCloud storage, which you end up paying for. So we'll store it up on our cloud servers where it's safe. You know, the hard drive fails, still got a copy. It's a backup, right? And we'll just put little thumbnails, lower quality JPEGs that you wouldn't even notice a difference, honestly. If they want to edit it or they want to print it, we'll download the full copy. Do you think that's what's going on? You still there?
Well, yeah.
I turned off the mic because of the barking and the craziness that was going on. Okay.
No, sorry about that. No, it's interesting. I went into the package of contents. There's a folder in the originals, and that looks like it's about the right size, about 200 in the high gigabyte range.
That's what you want.
But,
yeah.
Yeah. So that looks right. But if I back out up to the icon for the photos, it only shows in the megabyte range. So that was the part that everything seems to be there.
So you're not losing any photos. It's just representing it wrong. So that's kind of a different question. Is like, what's going on with my operating system that I'm not seeing? Right. So what I'd recommend under the Apple menu, there's a really useful About This Mac. You've probably seen this before. That tells you, basic stuff about your Mac. And you can click the Storage tab. And if you click the Storage tab, not only will you see what amount of storage is devoted to what, but you can also manage it. So you can get more information about what's going on with your photos. You can actually click on photos and see how much is stored there. It even has an optimize button. So this is go ahead.
It's showing that, and that's what prompted me to call you, because it's showing that, even though it's on my external drive, it's showing the right size of the photos in there. And so that's why I'm kind of like scratching. Well, in there, and it's showing the right size of the file, but if I go to the hard drive, it's not showing.
So it's just the hard drive that's misreporting that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it could be, if everything, iPhotos is seeing it properly, I don't know why it would misreport. I'm looking at mine. I see 16.99 gigabytes.
Yeah.
That's about right. That's what I would expect.
Yeah.
If I saw megabytes there, I'd be worried. It's not an alias? It's not something else going on?
No. It's been doing this for a while. Like I said, it's all the other file sizes on their types of files and the hard drive seem right, but for some reason, it's only been probably in the last year it's been doing this. It doesn't seem to be deleting the photos. They all seem to be there. It's just for some reason on these particular drives, and it's showing the right. No great laws and functionality.
There's some reason it's saying that wrong number, and I just don't know what it could be. That does sound very strange. If you're using a certain amount on the hard drive, the Finder, which is what you're using, this should tell you the right amount. I can't even think of what could be going on there.
Well, it's a weird one I hadn't seen before, and I wasn't finding anything online, so I was just, throwing a hook.
This is a good one. You know what? Maybe. This is a good one. This is at least once per show we get what I call a puzzler. And that's a puzzler, taking it from Click and Clack there. If anybody in the chat room or anybody listening has an idea, you're using Mac OS, you're using Catalina?
Yep, latest version Catalina.
You're using the latest version. Why is Catalina underreporting the storage used by his photos library when everything else is right? Good. It's a puzzler. Keep listening. Somebody might call in with the answer. I certainly don't know. And I consider myself a Mac expert here. I'm not exactly Click and Clack, but I've been using the Mac since 1984. Optimize, but see, he's not doing that. So I don't know. What do you think? 8888 Ask Leo. The chat room's at irc.twit.tv. And, of course, you can leave comments on our website. That's free. TechGuyLabs.com. TechGuyLabs.com. That's a puzzler. I like these puzzlers. Computer. So, I've said this before. I'll say it again. Computers are not magical. They are not airy-fairy. They're deterministic, logical machines. If a computer says something, it says it for a reason. It might be wrong, but you should be able to track back to the reason. It doesn't make stuff up. Unlike humans, right? In fact, I think one of the reasons people like me love computers, love technology, is it's very binary. It either works or doesn't work. Everything's a 1 or a 0. It's complicated, so it may not always be obvious what the root cause of a problem is, but there is a root cause. There's no magic. There's no elves inside there. It's all hard reality. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888 Ask Leo. Let's go to New Mexico. David is on the line. Hi, David.
Hey, Leo. How you doing today?
I'm very well. How are you?
Doing all right. Second time I talked to you in my what year is this? 20. You're in my 20-year career. You first visited me via web TV. I told you in like 1999, 2000 something.
Yeah. It's gone a long time. I started doing Tech Guy radio in the early 90s. Did it on TV at Tech TV for about 6 years, 98 to 2004. Went back to the radio, my first love. I've been the Tech Guy on this syndicated network for more than 10 years now. Let's see, it started 2004, so 16 years. I just like doing this. It's easy, it's fun, and I love talking to people about tech.
It's all a blur, huh?
Yeah. I only remember the last 15 minutes, so it's perfect for me. What can I do for you?
I got a question. You brought up SpaceX last week, and I have a question on that.
Yeah.
But first of all, you have a 16 kW kilowatt system on your house?
16.7, yes, sir. We just put in 24 more panels.
Wow. Well, guess how big mine is?
How big?
It's 20W.
What is that for? What are you running a power station? What?
No, 20W, 20 watts.
Oh, watts. Oh, yeah. I'm talking kilowatts.
No, I run my entire life on 20 watts.
Do you really? Oh, I'm really impressed. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking at my house right now. It's drawing 11 kilowatts. But we got the AC on. I have 100 computers.
I got the AC on too. They're wide open.
How do you do it so low? How do you do it?
Well, the only thing I use electricity for in my life is, with not counting the electricity that runs around the motor of your vehicle, but is for this phone that I'm talking to you.
Nice.
Smartphone. That's
What else are you using? Natural gas? What are you using?
Yeah, well, for heating and cooking, propane.
Okay.
And that's it. I live off the grid. I'm not connected to anything.
Oh man, I'm impressed, David. How do you like it?
I love it. I would never go back.
Doesn't it feel good? You're not leaving a giant footprint on the earth.
Yep.
I love that. Yeah.
And I used to fly for the airlines. You got a question about aircraft air.
Oh, so you've burned enough jet fuel that you're making up for it now.
I used to. I've reformed. I'm retired from that. So I'm no longer guilty of burning up jet fuel.
Well, as somebody sitting in the back, thank you.
You're welcome. But there was a question as to the cycling of air, and when the engines are turned off, you still have an auxiliary power unit to supply power to do stuff like that. And they have one on board the jet, and then there's also one that sits outside the aircraft that they can wheel around from aircraft to aircraft.
Ah, good. I mean, you don't want no ventilation while you're sitting on the tarmac. That's not good.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And then you don't want to burn the engines any more than you have to. So that sounds like a good compromise. Let me ask you this. I know, and this is true for home AC, for office AC, it costs money to circulate fresh air in, especially in a plane. That air is pretty darn cold out there. So do you have a knob you can turn to say more or less fresh air?
Yeah, well, every aircraft is going to be different, and it's going to have changed over time, as technologies increase. But yes, absolutely, the pilot has control, and the flight attendants have control of temperature and where that air goes. So yeah, they have complete control of that.
And so in this day and age of COVID, I think that the general consensus I've seen for all HVAC is, even though it might cost you more, it's probably prudent to put more fresh air in there than you would normally put in. How much fresh air is normally in the recirculation?
Well, it depends on what stats you read. Once again, it varies from aircraft to aircraft, but the air is going to turn over anywhere from, say, 5, 7 to up to 20 times an hour.
Wow. That's really good. That's not bad at all.
Rapid, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, like they're saying, that every bit of that air is going through, each cycle is going through a HEPA filter.
Right.
So the air in the plane
it's pretty clean.
Is probably cleaner than the air in Walmart, I would think.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So I wouldn't worry about the air in the airplane based on those numbers.
It's more like the guy sitting behind you coughing that I would worry about.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, whenever I've seen epidemiological studies, it's always people you have to worry about in your row and maybe one or two rows before and behind, because the circulations, you're not going to somebody 20 rows away. You're not going to get anything from them.
Probably not. Yeah.
When did you stop flying?
When or why?
Yeah, how long ago?
I quit quite a long time ago. I'm probably, I don't know if it's been 15, 20 years.
We have a lot of captains, a lot of pilots listening, I know, because there's a lot of time up there just flying. So I'm glad to have you all. I appreciate it. What can I do for you?
Oh, I had a fun question on SpaceX. You made me think of it last week when you were talking about it.
Yeah.
I tried to call in, but I called too late in the program.
No, that's all right.
And so I can't believe that I'm the only guy that this has occurred to in the entire duration since SpaceX has been around. But I have never in the media heard anybody else pick this low-hanging fruit that I noticed immediately the first time hearing the company name SpaceX.
Yeah.
And so keeping it G-rated for radio, Elon Musk likes to joke about his BFR, his big Falcon rocket.
Yes, he's a little that way, isn't he? In fact, the Tesla models are S, E, X, and Y, huh? Leo Laporte, the tech guy. I'm sorry, we had to run, but that's a good point. What is it? Now we're just on the podcast. What SpaceX?
Well, obviously it's SpaceX.
Oh my God! If you just, oh my God, SpaceX, and knowing Elon, he totally meant it that way.
He totally did, and I've been sitting. I picked that low hanging fruit the second I heard SpaceX. Immediately, my mind, you can blame it on my mind. But yeah, SpaceX.
I never thought of that, David.
And then when he came along with his wink wink nod nod, his BFR, his big Falcon rocket, that confirmed it. That's the deal that it was a totally intentional.
Oh, and totally intentionally, the Model S, the Model 3, which looks like an E, the Model X, and the Model Y. Totally intentionally.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, and I can't believe, but the most amazing part of it is, how come I'm the only guy, and I listen to media all day long, every day.
Because no one wants to say space sex
right
on the radio.
And Kimmy had the same reaction when I said that to her last week. She cracked up just like you did.
I didn't even think of it. Huh. Elon is quite the dude of he's some strange. On the other hand, man, I got to celebrate him because he's kind of spacey and weird, but I think that's kind of meant that he doesn't have conventional constraints on his thinking. So I drove a Model X. I loved my Tesla. These batteries in this generation is all Tesla solar cells, Tesla batteries.
Right.
He's really trying his best to make the world a better place. I don't like the going to Mars part, but that's his thing.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of undecided on that one, but obviously it's probably his strangeness, his quirkiness that actually made him successful.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
It gave him the freedom. And who knows why? I've interviewed people who've written his biographies of him and stuff. No one, he's just a strange person. But I think some of it is, I think he genuinely believes we're in a simulation.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I think that gives him permission. The greatest thinkers have had some freedom that you and I, maybe you do, I don't have, to just be outside the box. And I think that the fact that he doesn't believe this is reality, he thinks we're just in a simulation, gives him permission to do things like bet his whole fortune, which he did on Tesla.
Yeah.
And now it's paid off, but he could have lost everything.
Right. Yeah. I never thought of that aspect, but that could very well be a large factor.
He thinks it's all a video game, and he's just playing to win.
Right. Well, that's all cool. It's hard for me to relate to. I'm more solid.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to.
Me too. But that's why you and I are just normal people.
Well, speak for yourself.
Hey, I got to run. Pleasure talking to you, David. Thank you. 20 watts. That's impressive. Get back on your bicycle and generate some electricity.
Will do.
Take care, David. Hot. That's how we're feeling today in Southern California. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number. Hot. Brandon in St. Louis, Missouri. Hello, Brandon. Oh, and he had a fix for the files on his Mac, but I think he got a little shy. Oh. Well, call back, Brandon. I don't know if we lost you or you lost us, but I'd like to know if there's a solution about this file size mismatch on his Mac OS. 8888 Ask Leo is the phone number. You can also go to our website, techguylabs.com, and leave comments there. That's free. No sign up, no requirements there. Calabasas, California. Jim's on the line. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Leo. Hear me okay?
I hear you great. How are you?
I'm fine, and I know you are too from listening to your show here.
On fire.
Yeah, we all are here in California right now.
Yeah, burning up.
Let's hope it doesn't last too much longer. And I do have a question for you on Windows 10 updates.
Yes.
For months, it's been months now, I get the message from Microsoft that they can't update. I'm trying to get 1909 updated, and they don't have enough space on my C drive.
Oh.
But I checked my C drive, and I've uninstalled. I follow their directions and uninstall as much as I can, and I've got just over 2 gigabytes of free space on my C drive.
That's not enough.
Oh, it's not.
Did you hear earlier we had a caller, somebody was downloading and had been downloading for an hour and a half the 2004 update, the most recent update. And I said, how big is this thing? I said, it's 32 gigabytes.
Wow. Oh,
so thank you, Microsoft, for, I remember when I got my first 2 gigabyte hard drive, I was blown away. I said, we'll never use all this space. Well, clearly, if you have a hard drive with only 2 gigabytes left, you just don't have enough space.
Yeah, I thought that was plenty.
Yeah.
My total hard drive is 30 gigabytes.
Yeah. So
I put in a flash drive that has 52 gigabytes of free space and designate that for the updates, but it still comes back.
No, it wants to put it on the C drive, unfortunately.
Yeah, I get directions that said you designate a flash drive that we can use to make your update. So I designate this particular flash drive.
And it still doesn't like it.
52 gigs of free space.
Yeah.
And still doesn't update, so that's why I'm calling. What?
So I'm thinking you have a fairly old computer.
It's about 3 years, HP notebook.
And you only got...
Yeah, it only had about 30 gigabytes. So
that's awfully small.
It is, yeah. But I figure, well, I can just put in the flash drives and put my storage on those flash drives. And
yeah, so if it's got a slot or something, yeah, you can do that.
Get along.
This must have been one of those low-cost, HP was making these kind of low-cost, I can't remember what they call them, elite books or something like that.
Yeah,
it's foolish for them to sell computers with so little storage, to be honest.
But using flash drives to store my information works
Stream.
out well, but I can't get the updates to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Stream was a cute little thing. That was the reason they made it is because they were trying to compete with Chromebooks. And so the theory was, well, you don't need local storage. Chromebooks come with even less, typically. You don't need local storage. In fact, they even gave you a big cloud storage, right? I think you got a year of 1 terabyte of OneDrive with the notebook. Thinking, well, you just store everything in the cloud. It doesn't work with the one thing you really need that storage for, which is...
updates.
Updates.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know what the fix is, honestly.
And to put in a large flash drive to add to your hard drive free space total doesn't seem to be working in my case.
Yeah, and that may be something about the Stream and the way it's designed. It may not. You'd think that Windows can see it, and Windows says, where do you want me to put this update? And it still doesn't want to put it there.
Correct. So that's why I called. See if you had any ideas. I guess I need to buy a Chromebook or another...
I don't think so. Here's what I would suggest. Microsoft offers something they call their media creation tool. If you just Google Microsoft.com media creation tool, you can download the latest version of Windows 10 with the update 2004 and you would download it to this extra storage you have because you don't have enough room on your local hard drive, your C drive, so put it on your D drive, and then use it to install onto a thumb drive. And we're going to make that thumb drive your Windows 10 installer.
Okay.
Then I think you'll be able to reboot the machine to the thumb drive, or you don't even need to do that. You could just tell it, launch this installer. And then, so in other words, it's not storing it locally at all. It's storing it on a USB key.
Right.
And then I think it'll do the update from there.
Okay. Sounds like a very good idea. Where again on Microsoft do I go to get this?
If you just Google, it's a long address, or I'd give it to you, and I'll put it in the show notes. But if you just Google Microsoft Media Creation Tool,
media creation tool.
Yeah, and you want the one that you'll see download Windows 10 disk image in an ISO file. And you'll want to get the latest one with the 20. Yeah, it's got the Windows 10 May 2020 update. That's the one you want.
Okay.
And then it'll download it. And if it asks for a serial number, just ignore it. You don't need that because you're running Windows 10 today. You are running Windows 10, right?
Correct.
Yeah. You don't need to do anything with a serial number. Microsoft already knows you have a legit copy. So I would download it. You're going to have to download it to that external drive or that SD card you put in there. And then use the media creation tool, follow the instructions to build. Actually, you might not even need to build a thumb drive from this. I think you do, but build a thumb drive. You probably have one lying around. It needs to be, I think, 8 gigs. And then just put it on there, and that's going to be your installer. Let it run from there.
How many gigs? 8?
I think 8. Believe it or not. I know. I know.
A couple of those land.
I know. Of course you do. Yeah, it says at least 5 gigs of space or blank, which means you need an 8, because I don't think they make 5 gig USB keys.
But so far, the latest update I don't have is 1909, and I'm not even into 2020.
Yeah, you really want to get there. Right now, it's okay.
Am I having a security problem?
Not yet. No. These are feature updates. These have nothing to do with security. You're still getting the other updates, I'm sure, on Tuesday, Patch Tuesday.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah, I know. It's so confusing. So Microsoft has 2 updates. They have critical updates, which fix problems, and they have feature updates. Those are the ones that come out twice yearly in the spring and the fall. So you're just one off with 1909 was last fall.
Yeah.
So you can skip right over that and go to 2004, which is this spring. And you could do that with the media creation tool, and you'll be up to date. But it doesn't have anything to do with security. It's only features. Honestly, there's no urgency. The only urgency is at some point Microsoft says, in like 2 years, Microsoft will say, hey, we're not going to support you anymore if you don't update. So at that point, you're going to say, I guess I better do what Leo said 2 years ago. Get that USB key. It's not critical. Absolutely not. It's just not critical. And I really hate the way Microsoft does this. It drives me nuts. And clearly it's driving other people nuts. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Time for our Disco Man. Dick DeBartolo, Mad Magazine's maddest writer. We call him our gizmo wizard because he's all into these gizmos and gadgets. Dickie D, I now have 6
LED lamps.
LED lamps. I got the ones you mentioned 2 weeks ago and then the ones you mentioned last week. I love them.
They're great.
They're great. They're good for streaming video conferences, so I'm not sitting in the dark. They have little clips, so I have them on my bedside table, and then when I don't, so when I'm reading, it's really good. And as you know, as one ages, it gets harder to read in dim light. I need a nice bright light if I'm going to read, and they're great. So thank you.
No, you're welcome. And the fact that you can go from warm light, which I use for Zoom and Skype,
yes, because it's
and then the white light, as you said, for reading. It's great, and the same lamp.
It really is great.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking, get the checkbook out because it's GizWiz time.
All right. Well, this one is too tame for you. Okay. So I did back to school for ABC News on Monday, and I was looking for something a little different in a notebook, and I found the Acer Spin 3.
Oh, good choice. Oh, I do.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
great.
I do.
So
Yeah.
The Spin 3, and this is the newest version, which came out in June. And I first of all, I like numbers. So it's the Acer Spin 3 with Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5, Thunderbolt 3.
It's got all the numbers, all the best numbers.
It's got all the numbers. So
14-inch screen.
Exactly. It comes with a all chips. You can get the 3, the 5, or the 7.
Okay? The Intel i3, i5, i7.
And they're the 10th generation.
Now, they make this both in a Windows version, and honestly, it's the best Chromebook ever. So unless you know you need Windows, I think the Chromebook version of this is an even better choice. Safer, more secure, fewer problems. Yeah.
No, that's great. And also, Lee, the price. Actually, I have an affiliate Amazon thing, but I don't recommend Amazon because I checked around. Walmart has for $6.99 with the i7,
all of it,
8 gigabytes of RAM, a 512 gigabyte solid state drive.
Wow.
There's a rechargeable stylus in there. Wacom technology for the Wacom.
It's a touch screen. Nice.
Yeah, a touch screen.
This is a really you know what, Dick, I'm 100% in agreement with you, and I try a lot of laptops. This is a great laptop.
Yeah.
Especially for the price.
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying. On Amazon, it's $775. So this is an easy way to go. And Costco has a version of this also.
Yeah, a lot of students are getting Chromebooks for school. And so this
Leo, a feature of this, you might know, it says, can you go back to that ad, that Walmart ad? Because I just saw it when you put it up.
Yeah.
It says Google Classroom compatible. Do you know what that is?
Yeah. So a lot of schools, especially with remote learning, my kid is a senior in high school. He's using Google Classroom. Google has a suite of software tools designed for schools. You get a school account. You use the Google Docs, their word processor, their spreadsheet, and all of that. And it has Google Meet as the video conferencing backbone and all of that stuff. Okay. So a lot of schools are doing that. And by the way, that also works on a Chromebook.
I was just going to say, since it's Google and Chromebooks are Google, that's
so
perfect.
I think that's what his high school is using, Chromebooks for this stuff. And the Acer Spin Chromebook is even more affordable because they're not paying the Windows tax on that. So I think those are. I completely agree with you. It's the same. It's roughly the same hardware, same quality, but it runs a different operating system that's a little more secure. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Good choice.
Excellent.
Good choice.
Also, you missed a thing when you were talking about Microsoft. You said so. Microsoft does updates that fix things, and Microsoft does updates. I was going to say that messes up things.
That break things. Yes.
Yes. The latest update, it loves to unset all the audio settings, all your video settings.
Oh, you're talking about Skype.
Skype.
Oh, don't get me started.
You cannot start old Skype. It just won't let Skype start.
You have to update.
Until you update it.
And the reason Dick's aware of this is because for all of our hosts, almost everything I do on this show, we use Skype. And all our podcast network shows, we use Skype. So I'm painfully aware. Painfully aware of the problems Skype brings. Yet, the reason we continue to use it is it's better quality than anything else, including Google Meet or Zoom or Teams. It's really the best solution for what we do. I mean, nobody can tell that you're not sitting right next to me right now. The quality is that good.
I thought we weren't supposed to say that to people. We were going to keep this myth going.
I got to get my mask on. Wait a minute. There's my face shield.
That's right.
Yeah. No, but thank goodness we have this technology these days.
It's amazing. I do ABC News on Skype.
Yeah. I see it now on the news. And it's funny because we've been using Skype since TWiT began, 15 years. And we've been through the wars with this thing. We've done, we've learned everything. And I think we do a pretty good job. I mean,
you do them. Listen, I told
better than the networks.
If only Chad and Leo could run ABC. I had to do my spot this week with a blank screen. They said, Dick, for some reason we can't
figure it out. I don't know.
We can't send you any video. So talk over your B-roll. Try to remember how it runs.
Try to remember, but we can't tell you what's going on at all. I see so many funny things. People dropping out. they're using those Apple. I don't know why they let them. They use the Apple earbuds and stuff for them. Look at the size of the microphone on that guy. That dick has a good professional grade microphone, so he sounds like he's in the radio.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And one person doing an interview said, "Is that a virtual microphone, or do you really have a microphone like that?" No, I'm serious.
Well, I told you I did a Good Morning America a few months ago with my friend Becky Worley, and she said, "Can you hide the microphone?" I said, "But yeah, but that's how you hear me." "Yeah, but they don't want to see it on TV, so I had to put the microphone way down here and shout." I like having a microphone in front of me. Thank you, Dick DeBartolo.
Okay, buddy.
Go to his website, GizWiz.biz. Click the link that says the GizWiz visits the tech guy for information on that Acer Spin and the link to that good deal on Walmart. You can also find out all the back-to-school stuff he showed on ABC's World News Now. You've clicked that link. And play the What the Heck? What the heck? What the heck is it contest? Is that running out in a couple of weeks? I think it is.
Yeah. Well, what is today? We have 2 weeks to go. 2 weeks and a couple days.
You're playing? Let me get it right here. I have it right here. Oh, I had it right here. There. It's falling off the bookshelf there. No, that's not the one you're playing for. You're playing for an autographed copy of this here Mad Magazine. You know what? Somebody had explained to me. It's got Wonder Woman on the front with her lasso, and there's a tooth in her lasso. And I said, I don't get that. I know it's Alfred E. Newman's tooth. But what I didn't realize, and some comic book nerd told me, is Wonder Woman calls her lasso the lasso of truth. So this is the lasso of tooth. Now I get it.
Good.
Dick, thanks so much. GizWiz.
Okay, buddy. I'll talk to you next week.
.biz. Talk to you next week. And, of course, his great podcast with Chad Johnson, which is at GizWiz.tv. Thank you, Professor Laura, for great music today. Thank you, Kim Schaffer, bringing us our great phone callers. Thank you all for calling and listening. TechGuyLabs.com is the website. I'm Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy. Have a great, safe Geek Week. Bye-bye. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, TWiT, TWiT. It stands for This Week in Tech, and you'll find it at twit.tv, including the podcasts for this show. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on MacBreak Weekly, iPads, iPhones, Apple Watches on iOS Today, security on Security Now. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And, of course, the big show every Sunday afternoon, This Week in Tech. You'll find it all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next week with another great Tech Guys show. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.